Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye. Nashtaprayeshu Bhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Bhagavati Uttama Shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtaki. Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya cha Nandagopakumaraya Govindaya Namo Namaha. Nama Pankajanabhaya Nama Pankajamadine Nama Pankajanetraya Namaste Pankajangraye. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare, Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavad-Gita as it is, Chapter 1, entitled Observing the Armies on the Battlefield of Kurukshetra. Reading from text 36 through 38. Text 36. Papameva shrayedasman hatvaitan atatayinaha tasman narha vayam hantum dhartarashtran sabandhavan svajanam hi katham hatva sukhinaha shyama madhava. Translation. Sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra and our friends. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune? And how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? Text 37 and 38. Yadyapi etena pashyanti Lobhopahata chetasaha kulakshaya kritam dosham mitradrohe cha patakam katham nagneyam asmabhi papadasman nivartitum kulakshaya kritam dosham prapashyad bhir janardana. Translation. O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by greed, see no fault in killing one's family or quarreling with friends, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurun Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Radhanath Swaminiti Namine. Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Jayapataka Swaminiti Namine Namacharya Padaya Nitai Kripa Pradayine Gaurakatha Dhamadaya Nagara Gramatarine Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swaminiti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunivadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So wishing all of you a very, very happy Sri Gita Jayanti and Mokshada Ekadashi on this very auspicious day when Krishna spoke the Bhagavad Gita. It is very auspicious for us all to get together and discuss on the Bhagavad Gita. So this verses that we read today is the continuation of Arjuna's reasonings that he's giving to Krishna for not fighting. So we have seen how Arjuna has, given his own, he has given a lot of, other reasonings, like, what will be the use of such, kingdom when I don't have anyone to share with it, the happiness that I can share, of enjoying a virtuous kingdom. So what is the use? So many, different kinds of reasonings Arjuna is giving, and these reasons that Arjuna is giving in this particular verses that we read today is something Srila Prabhupada explains are very much shastric. That it is actually explaining Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that this is pointing out how saintly Arjuna's character is. Srila Prabhupada is saying that even though he is a Kshatriya, that Arjuna, because he is a devotee by nature, that he is so saintly, it is, impossible to have this kind of a combination, being a Kshatriya and also be saintly at the same time, but it can be possessed only by one who is having, love for Krishna, only by a devotee who can possess such unique qualities or such contradicting qualities, like a Kshatriya is supposed to be very arrogant, very cruel, but, to have soft-heartedness, to have saintly heart, that it's all very contradictory. These two are contradictory qualifications and qualities which Arjuna possesses because of his being a devotee of the Lord. So, here Krishna is given the reason by Arjuna that Arjuna is saying that sin will overcome us if we slay such aggressors. Aggressors, Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that there are 6 kinds of aggressors. One who gives poison, one who sets fire to the house, the third is one who attacks with deadly weapons, fourth is one who plunders riches, fifth is one who occupies another's land, and sixth is one who kidnaps a wife. So if we see that in the life of the Pandavas, the Kauravas had actually performed all of these 6 activities against the Pandavas. They had done all 6 of them. It is actually explained that even if one person does only one of these acts, they are called as an aggressor and they are worthy to be killed. There is no sin in killing such an aggressor. It is there in the Shastra. It is very, very properly established. And Srila Prabhupada also gives the reference of Lord Ram, that although he was so saintly, but, Ravana, he was an aggressor because he kidnapped Mother Sita. And because Ravana was an aggressor, that is the reason why Lord Ram went ahead and killed Ravana and had no sinful reactions. Of course, it's Lord Ram. He is free from all sinful reactions. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But still, there is no reaction to killing any kind of a aggressor. Any one of these 6, if anyone is doing, then there is no sin in killing such an aggressor. That is why it is said that, in fact, one time I heard Srila Jayapataka Maharaj, he was giving a class, and he was bringing up this point in Sri Mayapur Dham long, long ago. This is back in 98, and in Mayapur, Guru Maharaj was giving a class, and he was talking about aggressors. And, because in Mayapur there are a lot of mosquitoes. So, the question came in the question-answer session that, is it sinful to kill a mosquito, So then Guru Maharaj said, well, if they come and bite you, then you just go like that, then that's okay, because they are already attacking you. So if you're killing the one who is attacking you, then it is okay. But the best, Srila Prabhupada said that to get rid of mosquitoes is, with coconut fiber, you put some kind of a powder in it, frankincense powder, and then you light it up, and that smoke comes. That smoke makes the mosquitoes, Guru Maharaj explained, that Srila Prabhupada said, it paralyzes the mosquitoes, so to speak. They become very inactive by the smoke of that frankincense. So that's why in Mayapur, whenever Srila Prabhupada in the evenings, actually it is explained that, Guru Maharaj is explaining that in his room, in Srila Prabhupada's room, in the Lotus building, every evening, his servant, Prabhupada's servant, would bring in this frankincense, and he would, put it in Prabhupada's room, and the entire room would get so smoky, and Srila Prabhupada would sit there because then he would not get disturbed by the mosquitoes. Nonetheless, even to kill a mosquito, when they're attacking you, biting you, if you kill them, it is not sinful. That is the point. But the thing is that, so the one who comes and attacks, like a snake, because they're poisonous in nature, so any kind of snake which is poisonous in nature, if we kill them, there is no sin to that. Rather it is, it is not proper to leave a snake which is poisonous. If you see a poisonous snake, Srila Prabhupada said you should always kill it. Incidents are there in Mayapur also, how Srila Prabhupada was one time in the Lotus building bathroom. Srila Prabhupada was using the toilet, and Jayapataka Maharaj was actually standing guard outside the toilet, and suddenly Srila Prabhupada started screaming from the bathroom, Jayapataka, Jayapataka. He started screaming, and then Jayapataka Maharaj just came inside, and then he saw that Prabhupada had kept the door half open, and on the hinges of the door, the snake, there was a very big poisonous, king cobra snake, and that snake was trying to, bite Srila Prabhupada, and it was just missing Prabhupada by inches, because Prabhupada had, strapped it by, holding the door in such a way that the snake was not able to come through. So the snake was like half inside and half outside, and it was still trying to bite Srila Prabhupada. So immediately Guru Maharaj got some guards, and then they, killed down that snake. They beat down that snake, and they killed that snake, and they burnt the body of the snake. And then Srila Prabhupada said that there would be a pair, there would be another one, because Srila Prabhupada said that these, dangerous snakes, poisonous snakes, they always travel in pairs. So, you should kill the other one. So they actually hunted down the other snake also, and they killed that snake as well. So like this, it is not a sin to kill any kind of poisonous, like scorpions, snakes. It is not sinful to kill such living entities because they are aggressors. So it is there in the Shastra that anyone who is fitting into any of these 6 categories of aggressors, there is no sinful reaction in killing them. So, however, the Kauravas they are so, sinful, the Kauravas, headed by Duryodhana. They had performed each and every one of the 6 aggressive acts against the Pandavas. The first one, which is the giver of poison, the poison giver. We all know how Duryodhana had given poison to Bhima when he was very young. He had, when they were all in Gurukul, young boys, when Bhima was a very young, all of them were in Dronacharya's Gurukul. Duryodhana had mixed poison, and everyone knew how Bhima was, very fond of eating. So in Bhima's sweet rice, Duryodhana had mixed poison, and Bhima ate that, and then he became unconscious, and they actually rolled him up in a mat, and they dropped him in the water, in a lake. And when they dropped him in the lake, the snakes in the lake, they actually came and they bit Bhima, but by biting Bhima, they actually sucked out all the poison that was there in him. And then Bhima woke up in the, water, and then those Nagas, they brought Bhima down to Nagaloka, and they presented Bhima in front of the queen of the Nagas. And then the queen of the Nagas was like surprised. Who are you, little boy? And he said, Main Kunti Putra Arjun. I am, the son of Mother Kunti. And, all of these pastimes are very beautifully shown in Mahabharata, that serial that is done by B.R. Chopra. He actually has taken a lot of guidance from ISKCON. ISKCON has been given credits in the titles of Mahabharata, but he's shown very beautifully in that serial that how Bhima, he was present in front of this queen, and then she actually introduces that she is like a mother to Kunti. So therefore she actually blesses Bhima by giving him a nectarian drink, and that gives him the power of 10 elephants within himself, So like this, although they gave poison, Duryodhana and Dushasana had given poison to Bhima, but he came back more powerful than ever before. But they did that aggression. That's the first thing, giver of poison. Second one is one who sets fire to the house. They had done that. The Kauravas had in fact built a house which was made of lac. And if it was not for the intervention of clever Vidura, the Pandavas would have burnt alive in that house of lac. So by the cleverness of Vidura, they actually dug a tunnel below, and then they escaped through the tunnel, and the house was set on fire. So they did the second kind of aggression also, which is setting the house on fire. Third one is one who attacks with deadly weapons. We all know how, this Duryodhana, Dushasana, they would always, pick up different kinds of weapons. They would always be fighting with each other against the Pandavas, even at the time of displaying their talents, when they were first time coming to Hastinapur from the Gurukul, they actually, Bhim and Duryodhana started fighting amongst each other, with the Gada, with the mace. And it was very dangerous kind of fight because Duryodhana had so much anger, so much hatred towards Bhima and the Pandavas. So he would always, attack very, very, very cruelly. He would attack the Pandavas. So they have done that as well, one who attacks with deadly weapons. Fourth one is one who plunders riches. In the gambling match, when the Pandavas were invited to Hastinapur to play the gambling match, the game of dice. At that time, one by one, through the help of Shakuni, they were, taking all the riches of the Pandavas. They took away everything, all the, they took away Indraprastha, they took away everything they took away. All the riches that the Pandavas had, they had taken away everything during that gambling match. Fifth one is one who occupies another's land. How we know that by cheat, they actually took over Indraprastha, and, even after the Pandavas served their term of, forest exile and, 1 year in incognito, when they did all of that, even when they came to rightfully claim back their land, Duryodhana did not wish to give it back. He did not even want to give back not only Indraprastha, but he was so arrogant, he told Krishna, who came as a peace messenger, Duryodhana said that I will not give you enough land that can go through the eye of a needle. That was how arrogant Duryodhana was. So they occupied another's land. They did that as well. And sixth one is one who kidnaps a wife or insults a wife. They did that as well. They tried to insult Mother Draupadi by dragging her into the assembly of the Kurus and trying to, insult her. That, of course, how we know that they were not successful, but they did try. They did, give her so much of insult. So the Kauravas, The point being said that the Kauravas did all these 6 kinds of aggressions. And they were, really there was no sin in killing such aggressors, which Arjuna very well knows. Arjuna is saying this, that sin will overcome if we slay such aggressors. Arjuna is calling them aggressors, but he's still saying that sin will still overcome us. Why? Because he's saying that they are my relatives. If we slay such aggressors, the previous, things that he was saying, that how can I be happy if I kill my own relatives? Even though they may be aggressors, there will be no sinful reaction, but still sin will come, because even though they may be aggressors, but still they are my relatives. So I don't want anything of this sort. So he's saying, therefore, it is not proper for us to kill the sons of Dhritarashtra. What should we gain, O Krishna, husband of the goddess of fortune, and how could we be happy by killing our own kinsmen? So here, Arjuna is very appropriately addressing Krishna as Madhava. Madhava means one who is the husband of the goddess of fortune. It is very significant. Srila Prabhupada explains that why Arjuna is addressing Krishna as Madhava. He's saying that he wanted to point out to Krishna that as the husband of the goddess of fortune, he should not induce Arjuna to take up a matter which would ultimately bring about misfortune. So here it's like, how Krishna is, because Krishna is the husband of the goddess of fortune. So he's saying, Arjuna is saying, you are Madhava. You are supposed to bring about fortune for everyone. But if I kill my own kinsman, it will become nothing but misfortune for me. So you are Madhava, don't be contradictory to your name. But then Srila Prabhupada ends his purport by saying, Krishna, however, never brings misfortune to anyone. What to say of his own devotees? How can Krishna bring misfortune to his own devotees? It is impossible. Krishna cannot bring misfortune to anybody, but definitely not to his own devotees. He will never ever do that. So, although, Arjuna is addressing him as Madhava, we should understand that Arjuna is in a state of anxiety. He's in a state of mental disturbance. Seeing his own relatives in front of him, he is not able to think rationally. So therefore he is, saying like this because his heart is really weeping. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the previous purports that not only was his mouth drying up out of fear, out of anxiety, but Srila Prabhupada says that he was not only trembling and all that, he was also crying. That how can I kill my own kinsman? How can I do this? I cannot even imagine, that kind of a soft-hearted nature is what Arjuna possesses. And here again, in the next 37 and 38, how, we are reading that Arjuna is saying that, O Janardana, although these men, their hearts overtaken by their greed, see no fault in killing one's own family, why should we, who can see the crime in destroying a family, engage in these acts of sin? So Arjuna is saying that we know that it is sinful to kill and destroy a family lineage. But they are, Arjuna is saying that these people are overcome by greed. They are blinded by their anger. They are blinded, but they cannot see. But at least we can see. We can see and we can, back out. But a Kshatriya, Srila Prabhupada is explaining in the purport that a Kshatriya is not supposed to refuse battle or a gambling match. Whenever they are invited by a rival party, they cannot refuse to either, a battle or a gambling match. They cannot refuse that. It is against the nature of a Kshatriya. Then they fail to be a Kshatriya, so to speak. So that is the reason why that they could not refuse, even when Draupadi was insulted, then when they were again invited by the Kauravas to a second gambling match, they could not refuse that because that is the nature and the dharma of a Kshatriya. So that's why they had to play again, because they were invited. And here, next ones we will see how Arjuna is saying that he is ready to even, give up his Kshatriya nature and take on another profession, because he knows that he cannot give up warfare. So he's saying, okay, I will give up being a Kshatriya also. I don't want to be a Kshatriya. I will take on another profession, but I don't want to fight. So this is how Arjuna is giving all his different reasonings how and why he should not be fighting. And again, in these verses, in the 37 and 38, he's addressing Krishna as Janardana. Again, the same meaning of Janardana, that he is the protector of mankind, he is the well-wisher of mankind. And another meaning of Janardana is also that Jan Ardana means one who slays mankind. So Arjuna is saying, Krishna, that either you be the protector of mankind, or if you want to be, the slayer of mankind, then you do it. Don't let me do it. I don't want to engage in this warfare. Arjuna is being very, very upfront and saying that, Krishna, I cannot do what what I'm here to do. Of course, here Krishna has not even started speaking, but this is the arguments that Arjuna is giving to Krishna. So we will end here, and if there's any questions, comments, reflections, we can take that now. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So, any more questions? Any questions? Any other comments?
Mataji, this is Jignu. I had a question.
Yes.
I think, as you were speaking, I was just thinking about how Arjuna, who is such supreme, such a supreme soul in so many ways, and also a pure devotee of the Lord. Would you say he was inflicted by Yogamaya potency of the Lord, that he was not able to recognize the right thing to do at this moment? And that's why the BhagavatGita was spoken? I mean,
Absolutely. It's, because he is, of course, Krishna always uses his own dear devotees, as instruments. So, yes, this was one of those times when Arjuna was covered by Yogamaya, so that the Bhagavad Gita could be spoken by Krishna. So yes, that is one way of seeing this.
The other thing, Mataji, I was thinking about, the anger of Bhima. He was known to be very angry.
Mm-hmm.
The question that I have is, many times when, Ashwatthama, his violence against Uttara,
mm-hmm.
etc., and then the killing of the Pandavas' sons,
mm-hmm.
he was justified in his anger, right? Were there any instances that he was not justified? I mean, I'm just trying to understand, the nature of his anger, because he was also a devotee of the Lord. I mean, was his anger considered transcendental?
Whose anger? You're talking about Ashwatthama's or Bhima's?
Bhima's, Mataji.
Oh, Bhima's, okay. So, Bhima's anger was definitely justified because he was not being angry for himself. See, when we get angry, most of the times it is for selfish reasons. Sorry. It is for selfish reasons that we get angry when it is personal. But in this case, although it is personal, but it was again for, his wife, who is a pure devotee. Bhima knew that very, very well. And it is in the same category as is Hanuman's anger. Hanuman, when he was so angry at Ravana for kidnapping Mother Sita, he burnt down the entire Lanka. He did that. And that was out of his anger that he did that. Srila Prabhupada always gives that analogy of transcendental anger. When it is used in the service, when anger is used in the service of the Lord. So here, in Bhima's case, it is anger when it is used in the service of his devotees, the Lord's devotees. So his anger was definitely justified. And it was his nature as well, that, he is a Kshatriya by nature. So therefore, for him to be angry is very much needed, justified at all times. And he was always being angry with this particular reason. Does that make sense?
It makes complete sense, Mataji. The more I read and the more I hear you and other devotees and listen to the Gita, it's just incredible, the level of these personalities. It's very hard to imagine people like this, Very, very hard, because we're so distanced in how, we are in Kali Yuga. We are all so different. It's a different caliber of individuals.
Yeah, that's so true. That is so true.
Thank you, Mataji, for a wonderful class. It's just
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's always wonderful to have this enlightening talks with you, Jugnu. You've always bring out a very, very, very beautiful point. I've always noticed that. So thank you. Thank you for bringing in that perspective.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
Haribol.